Roki Sasaki is the biggest name coming out of the MPB, and he wants to get out of Japan right now. Let's get into it.
Sasaki known as the monster Reiwa era.
We're not going to give you the fastball anymore. We're just going to give you all the splits.
StatCast doesn't know what to do with him. They're calling that pitch a cutter. We know it's his splitter.
Welcome to Touching Bases podcast, where we talk baseball and it's the off season for 2025. We got a new president, so elections are over, and I could focus back on the stuff I love, not the stuff I hate. Subscribe if you want a consolidated take on all of the moves made in the off season and why some of the moves are good and bad and risky or solid. Share with your friends so we can find out who disagrees and we can talk about it in the comments below. Thank you. Roki Sasaki. This is a 23-year-old in Japan who throws 103 miles an hour, and even though he doesn't qualify for a major league contract, he is getting posted to come to the MLB anyways, as I predicted. Most people say he wasn't going to because the Marines would not get the payday they would want from him, but if you're watching my last video, just like Shohei, ad revenues, financial loopholes are easy ways to get him to the US. So where is he going? Well, like Darwin McDonald with the MLB trade rumors said, there is one place that Roki fits, and it's a team we all are getting kind of tired of hearing about. The Dodgers. After signing Shohei Ohtani to the largest MLB contract in history, they followed up by signing arguably the only pitcher that is better than Roki Sasaki in Yamamoto. At this point, you should say that the Dodgers have the Japanese market pretty much in a bag at this point, and they could potentially fix their 4 to 5 slot of the rotation, as Walker Buehler isn't a free agent. He hasn't agreed to a deal up to this point. River Ryan is out with an elbow injury. Bobby Miller was a huge letdown this year and didn't seem to change it up. Glasnow is a walking arm injury red flag. The fit seems perfect for the Dodgers, but that's not in the best interest for Roki Sasaki. Now, full disclaimer. This is going to sound so biased, but please hear me out. Okay. If Sasaki gets posted in 2025, and he is, then the Dodgers make 0 cents for Roki's point of view. Absolutely 0 cents. Just hear me out. He is only going to be offered a minor league deal, which means he'll only be offered league minimum. This means that it is in his best interest to sign with a team where he will be the ace of that rotation. He will draw the most attention for his ability on that field and set him up for free agency that just milks every dime from a big market team when he becomes available for free agency. What better team to do that than with the best pitcher's ballpark in North America? Seattle Mariners. If you just rolled your eyes, you are not looking at the big picture here. I'm trying to explain that. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm saying this would be the smartest move for Roki Sasaki. Honestly, T-Mobile Park is the most pitcher-friendly park in all of baseball. It's home to the most dominant starting rotation in the American League. And with how healthy they were in 2024, it's literally the best rotation in Major League Baseball. In 2024, the Mariners had the lowest batting average against their arms at a .220 batting average. The next best was .230, which was the Guardians. The Mariners had the lowest whip at a 1.09, ahead of the Tigers. They were tied with the lowest ERA for the entire pitching staff with the Atlanta Braves with a 3.49 ERA, and they both only gave up 607 earned runs total. On top of that, it's not just the location and the pitching that they already have. The Mariners pitching development staff and injury prevention is rated as the top in the league, with Roki Sasaki being 23, joining Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu, and George Kirby. This could be the youngest starting rotation in baseball. I'm leaving out Luis Castillo because obviously he is not one of the younger guys. He's at 31, I think, going into 2025. This could be an insane 5 or 6 man rotation depending on what they do during this offseason. So besides that ballpark factor, why Seattle? Seattle can afford it. Seattle, as we all know, has a cringe owner who doesn't care about baseball whatsoever. He cares about profit. The goal isn't to win, it's to get people in their seats. So spending money on Corbin Burnes, Blake Snell, who would be a great fit, or Jack Flaherty is pretty much out of the question. It really sucks for Mariner fans, honestly. And it's good for any other team outside of the Mariners in the AL West. But Roki on a minor league deal to hold him for a few years, develop him more, and add dominance to his already impressive ability while keeping him healthy, that's a Seattle niche. Now, if you look over at Roki's situation, this means that he's adding value to his name for whenever that minor league contract comes to an end and he's able to go out in the free market and get offers from everywhere. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't see them signing him for a 6-man rotation. I like the idea, but I don't think this is going to happen. I think this could be the Mariners' way, if they are able to lock up Roki Sasaki, to use one of their guys that are already in the rotation as a trading piece for a big bat with club control and prospects. That's kind of the biggest thing. Bryce Miller, Brian Wu, as much as I love them to death, especially being a Mariners fan myself, they're going to hold the most value when it comes to a trade because of the club control and just the ability that they've shown. I would say Brian Wu is probably the one they would let go just because he has more arm issue history, even though he's been solid this last year. I would say he's probably the one that's going to get moved on. So in a way, this is a win-win for not only the Mariners, but for Roki Sasaki. He gets the pitching development that he can't get anywhere else. He gets to be an ace in a rotation that's already well known and is already number 1 in all of baseball. And when he does hit the market, he's going to be ready to take on a massive payday, because in a couple of years from now, $700 million might actually not be that high considering the inflation route that we're all going with all these contracts, especially with pitching. So why not the Padres? Or the Rays? Those are two teams that I would come to think that would want to pick up a guy for cheap right now, minor league deal, use them for a couple years and then send them off for a big return. The Padres did that with Juan Soto. They've done it with a bunch of other players when they did trades. The Padres need pitching, but pitching development is not their strong suit. They are also in hot water with MLB for taking out loans on their team, going all out and not making the revenue to pay it back this season. So signing is not really on their radar. That's why they are saying bye-bye to the trades at the deadline like Tanner Scott. But they also might still be interested, but I don't know if Roki Sasaki wants to be in the same division going up against the greatest team in baseball history, which would be the Dodgers. And that pains me to say that because I'm not a Dodgers fan, but let's be honest. The team was going to win from the very beginning. The Rays, it's a possibility, but given the circumstances of what just happened during this offseason, they just went through 2 massive hurricanes. And I hope everybody's okay down in Florida. Those were very intense hurricanes and enough to actually flood and nearly completely destroy Tropicana Field. Honestly, you guys deserve a new stadium anyway, so maybe this was God saying we're going to speed up that process. They reported that they have $59 million in damage, and it won't even be ready for opening day, all the reconstruction. So I'd be looking at the Rays selling this offseason for prospects that will be MLB ready in 2026. I'm not saying if you're a Rays fan and this is going to happen, but it would kind of be smart. I mean, hear me out. The Rays already traded away Luke Raley and Randy Rosarena to the Mariners. Zach Eflin got traded to the Orioles, and Isaac Paredes last year got traded to the Cubs. Yeah, he did bring in Christopher Morel, but I don't know if that was really an upgrade. He did better than he did with the Cubs, but it still isn't very impressive. So why not trade for 3 or 5 top 100 prospects that will be ready in 2026 and 2027. You still have Yandy Diaz, you have Pete Fairbanks, you have Shane Baz, and then hang on to guys that are cheap and that you have control over, like Taj Bradley. But Roki Sasaki doesn't really fit here given the headache of the stadium. It's not where I'd want to go if I were a star pitcher looking to benefit either, just because you don't even know where you're going to play. And Florida, in general, any team there doesn't exactly draw a lot of Japanese stars. Now I would say, and this is going to be interesting because I have a video coming out right after this for you guys, so consider subscribing down below and hit the notification bell because we're going to dig into this a little bit deeper. Honorable mention would go to the Angels. They snagged Ohtani in a similar fashion, but like idiots, they let him go without trading for a massive return. That whole organization's stupid to me. So I thought maybe they would learn from their mistakes and would kind of do a do-over with Sasaki since they need pitching help pretty bad. When they trade Canning to the ATL, I was sold that they were making room. Then they signed Hendricks, who was worse than Canning last year. So I have a whole video I'm going to put out on this, and it's going to dive a little bit deeper. There's been more developments that happened, and there's going to be a lot more changes moving forward because it seems like the Angels are the only ones taking action this winter as of now. So if I'm right and the Mariners are smart, they will sign Roki Sasaki to open the door for adding bats, and Roki will pitch in a Japanese-friendly park that is made for pitching to score himself a record-breaking contract in the following years and develop the best he possibly can further into his 20s. Comment below your thoughts and share on X or Reddit for those who might disagree with me. Leave it in the comments, or do me a favor, if you just hit the share button and then click one of those links, I think it helps me. So if you're into supporting the channel and you guys want to support me, I really do appreciate it. I love you all. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.